Part 2. Can I get change for a soda, please? Well, me and Jeff waited and waited and waited to get a response from one of the cola companies. It didn't never happen. You know when. Now I'm out of college. And it was in the 90s. I was working with my dad as his assistant. And I was having lunch one day. And my brother walked in sad, my oldest brother. He said, "You leaving us, Dave, huh?" I said, "What you talking about?" He said, "Damn, dog, you leave, all us gonna get fired." I said, "Leave for what?" He said, "When you came home from college the second year, you brought a bunch of stuff home with you, books and literature." He said he found a diagram of a soda machine with a pitch on it saying they losing billions and billions of dollars a year because people don't have change. I said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, you read that?" He said, "Yeah, baby brother. I read it." I said, "So what they got to do with me leaving?" He said, "They changing all the soda water machines at Club Med. And it's the exact machine you draw, baby brother. The exact machine. You put a dollar in and get change. And you can put $5 in and get change. And $10. I said, "Yeah." He said, "When you leave here, go in front of the Center's Pro Shop and you'll see." So when I ate, I went to the Center Pro Shop and he was right. And while I was standing there, a lady from another country was trying to give me $100 to get her a soda. And I say, "You need one, 5 or 10. She's like, she just had 100. So I reach in my pocket, because the soda was, I think, $2. So I reach in my pocket and put $2 in there, right? Or it might have been $1, but eventually they were two, I think. But I put the money in there, told her to punch what soda she want. It come out. She grabbed the soda. I said, "Take the 100. She said, "No, no, no." I said, "Miss, no, 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 no. Bonjour, bonjour. Please, bonjour." She said, "You want bonjour?" I say, "It good. It good. I get it. I get my money at the pro shop, right?" So I couldn't work no more that day. I'm thinking I'm finna be a millionaire. Oh, I'm gonna buy my mama the house of her dream, 5 of the cars of her dream, and a driver, and a cook. I'm gonna make all my brother millionaires. I'm gonna buy 200 or 300 acres, and all are gonna have our own house on 10 acres of land. I'm gonna take care of my karate master, Mike Graves, and his wife Ann. They would never have to work again or want nothing. And that's all I was thinking about. Taking care of my karate teacher and his wife. To show appreciation. Because of him, this is why I made it this far. And I just started crying. You know, I was in my truck. And I went in back of number 10 where water back there in a couple of houses, not that many. And I just went back there and cried. Thanking God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Because who would cheat a child who making them millions and billions of dollars a day? I was raised by angels. And I just couldn't think of people being that evil. I couldn't think people being that evil. I always saw the good in people until they showed me the bad. So I go to our old house. I'm looking everywhere for the diagram of the soda machine. And my brother said, you know, Mom and Daddy moved. So all that stuff probably got thrown away when they were moving. Because they probably thought it was junk because they were in white boxes. I'm like, oh boy. How can I prove that that's my invention, right? One day, me and my big brother at my house drinking, just relaxing. I got a phone call. And it was Jeff Wilson, which was rare because one cell phones back then, you know, and I had a cordless phone. And so me and Jeff were talking, you know, my brother right there. And he heard every word Jeff say. Jeff say, hey man, let me hold something, Doom. I said, what you mean? He said, man, you got to be rich, man. Your soda machine is all over the world. He said, the same soda machine you drove, they all over the world, Doom. He said, I'll take a lie detector test. If you want, we can get a lawyer. He said, that's your invention. I said, no, that's our invention, bro. I said, we worked on that together. Whatever I get, you can have. He said, man, I just can't believe they were still an invention from an 18-year-old kid in college. I said, I don't think so either, dog, but I don't know. He said, you know what I think happened? I think they were calling you and writing you letters. And nobody want to get the phone for you because he said, you know how everybody be waiting on phone calls. And if you got a call and somebody waiting, whoever was calling you, they're going to tell them, oh, he ain't him right now. He said, I think that will happen. And then you move to a different dorm. I said, yep. I said, but they could have called my mama house. He said, but your mama moved. I said, but they had the same. He said, man, I just can't believe that somebody would steal from a child like that. Especially a child in college. And I said, I know, man. I said, hard for me to believe too. He said, but anyway, bro, you got to be part of history, though. He said, man, they ain't never seen nobody did what you did to the Ku Klux Klan in their own backyard. He said, man, you got to be part of history. And then I told Jeff about President Clinton say everything I do is history. And once my history come out, everybody who know me going to be writing books. There's going to be books everywhere about me. I said, but he also said, if somebody write a book while I'm living and I sign off on it, that book will probably take care of their family to the end of time because I signed off on it. Because everybody going to want to know what type of people I hung with, who were my friends, and all that type of stuff. I say, so you write a book, Jeff, I sign off on it. I said, you ain't even got to give me nothing. He said, no, man, I said, no, you ain't got to give me nothing, man. Because they're going to write books about me too. And me and Jeff hung up. I felt good. Because it's somebody who know that I did that. And all my telephone calls and communication belong to the federal government the White House. So one day, hopefully they'll bring justice. Because President Clinton said, all my lawsuits, the government will sue on my behalf, you know, in the faraway future, and all my lawsuit will go to my foundation. But the Coca-Cola company, Pepsi company, RC company, anywhere, anyone, like Jeff said, anyone who got a vending machine that make change owe you money, dude. He said they got coffee machines, candy machine, tater chip machine. You put in $1, it give you change, so you can buy their product. He said all them people owe you money. He said it just ain't at the soda water machine level. It at all machines that bring change, except for the wash house or laundromat. He said, but all the vending machine, that's you, dude. That's you, baby. And in this unjust world, I'm poor. Dirt poor. Because of people who decided, hey, we're going to keep this a secret. I wish somebody can investigate to see who initiated that product. And like Jeff said, only thing they got to do is go to 1983 and see the phone number on the back of them soda water cans. RC, Pepsi, and Coca-Cola. Them numbers will lead to the answer, or where the letters go when you write them. You had an address on there. Them letters went to somebody. Like Jeff said, they can find out who did what with the invention, because it happened 10 years after I invented it. I invented that in 1983. I think the soda came out in like 1993, the soda water machine or whatever, with the change maker on it. But anyway, that's how they do us, man. That's another black invention that been stolen. Thank you, and God bless.